But generally, you're not going to have a distinct line, that you generally get over the summer. It's not going to be like you were flashed. So this is the Felipe guy. You can barely see him, but I did more research, and this is the Felipe guy that says is the only person who showed symptoms of being exposed to micronukes that day. What comes out to be that was him. That's then we're going to get to this interesting angle of plane parts. So you go one block over. The networks are all under the thumb of the edges. Or I could start. All hard to come by, so this one's easy to prove now, but I can easily prove it also was tape delayed. What you saw on TV was delayed. It was not live. In other words, they had a window of opportunity to insert their magic the networks, the evil instigators. So
right.
And this is within 15 minutes of the supposed plane going in there, and we have someone's face melted off.
Oh my God.
So where the light skin is what's underneath the burnt parts. She got exposed to something, and some people, such as on serendipity.li, suggest, written by anonymous physicist, that what happened on this day was all micronukes. So there's evidence right here, looking at her hand, her face, and the peeling, hanging skin, which happened after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that there were nukes used this day. So there's some more pictures. She's just in bad shape. And I've actually seen a video of her being loaded into the ambulance. If you go online, YouTube, you can actually see it. So that's what happened to her. There's another person that they're up close and personal too with that show that possible evidence of nuclear, radiological explosions, etc. So then we got people running. The police were telling them to cover up their heads because stuff's coming down, catching things on fire. And then you'll see pieces of a plane over here. The first plane, I haven't decided what exactly happened, but right here is the back of the first plane, where the first supposed plane came in. And the pieces here are in line with that. So these pieces supposedly came through here and landed on the other side of this Greek Orthodox church, which is one block over from those previous pictures I showed you where there was no plane parts. So you go one block over, then you start seeing these plane parts, which for some reason have never been published either. But this guy took a lot of pictures of plane parts. I'll show you the picture of the photographer also here, I'll get through these, because he almost did it that day. He pretty much,
like a pretty dangerous.
He didn't know what was going on, and he got blown a whole city block when the building was exploded. This is the first one that went. This was the one that got bombed, and he pretty much should have died. He looked like he was pretty close to getting it. So there's plane pieces. He photographed lots of little stuff here from the planes, people's backpacks, a downed fireman. I'm not sure if he made it. He doesn't look too good right in here and here. This is in the same area. The Greek Orthodox Church is right over there. And this is below the second struck building, supposedly by a plane. So this guy might not have made it. Not sure. Car's on fire here from supposedly the debris. Other people coming out. This is directly below where that second theoretical plane went in. And as you can see, nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. No plane parts. Because there was no plane. As simple as that. So we'll get to this other. There's just firemen going, what the hell are we going to do now? So I'm trying to coordinate going up 80 stories and carrying 80 pounds or 100 pounds up 80 stories. So trying to figure that out. Lots of pictures. I'm going fast because there's a lot of pictures. And the FBI, everybody was there. Then we're going to get to this interesting angle over here. This is over near WTC 5 or 6. I don't have the number straight in my brain right now, but this is what the picture we were just looking at was right over here, and we've moved over to the kitty corner, the opposite corner. And so I'm going to show you a couple interesting pictures here. coming up right pretty soon. People freaking out, people passing 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 out, freaking out, freaking out. Yep, very freaking out here. Mm-hmm. Yes, very freaking out. And then we have this guy. So can you see it okay? Anyway, so we have someone that's being loaded into an ambulance who got exposed to something. He's got his shirt burnt off, a black guy with a funky color skin, which you'll see why it's funky here in a second. Now, this is just a theory, but it looks to be true. If you look here, he's got the hanging skin, the burnt off skin, like this other girl that I just showed you. So you got the peeling skin, which may be exposure to radiological weapons, micro nukes. But there's more clues coming up here. So they're still hearing sounds. That's why they're looking up. Still hearing shit happening. So here's an important clue, even though it doesn't look important. You see this dinka-dinka, the shape of this t-shirt right here. Now watch right over here. He's got his shirt off. It's burnt. There's his original color. There's his new color with the shape of his t-shirt. There's the shape of his t-shirt. Mm-hmm. Now, unless a white guy, if you're in a white guy in the sun for several hours, you might, and not move, you might end up with a line like that. Mm-hmm. But generally, you're not going to have a distinct line, that you generally get over the summer. It's not going to be like you were flashed. Mm-hmm. So this is the Felipe guy. You can barely see him, but I did more research, and this is the Felipe guy that says is the only person who showed symptoms of being exposed to micro nukes that day. What comes out to be that was him. And the only way I know is because they did an interview with him 3 months later. His name's Felipe. His first name or last name, I can't remember. But there he is in the ambulance right there. I saw the interview. He's from a different country. I can't remember if it's Puerto Rico or exactly where. But there he is being loaded in the ambulance. And this other guy. So then we go on, and there's just people just still freaking out, going into ambulances, and then this shit even gets worse. Right here, this looks like a boring picture, but, because that's what I thought when I first saw it, but this turns out to be the Marriott Hotel right here. And what has happened here is that the glow behind here is where the WTC2 tower was. So you got a glow here. It got sliced in two. If it came straight down, why is this building cut in half? So this is a Marriott Hotel cut in half with a 3-story section from the tower now on West Street. It got blown through the Marriott Hotel, which I'll show you here in a second. So this is sliced in half because the explosion blew the tower through the Marriott Hotel. Mm-hmm. So the Marriott Hotel, that's the top of the left side, and that's the top of the right side, and I'm pretty sure this is West Street right over here. And this section, you can see the section right here. This is a famous piece they always photograph. And when you see it, you think it's the remaining part of the one of the towers, but it turns out that whole section got blown through the hotel onto West Street. And there's tons of pictures of it. That's just the first. This guy just almost bit the bullet. And so I'll show you the photographer here in a second. It's not this guy. They're helping one of the firemen right here, getting closer, that series there. This guy, this is the photographer. Of all the pictures you just saw, this is him. There, actually, wait, that's not right. He's walking at first. Yeah, he's walking. There he is walking, then he's not feeling too good, so they start carrying him. So this is the photographer. Right here, right here. I'll slow down a little bit. Right here. They're taking him somewhere to get him the heck away from the buildings. And this is the photographer. They finally got him somewhere to get him a drink. But he's in bad shape. He barely made it through it. He was taking all those pictures, then the bombs went off, and he barely made it. I'm pretty sure his name is something like Handshoe. Actually, I can turn back here and find out. I have a little yellow post-it on here. Oh, it's not on here. Wait a second. Okay, anyway, it's named something like Handshoe. And only one, I think I've only seen one of his pictures published. And then obviously another photographer took over, so the rest of the pictures, and it's guesswork. I pieced all this together, but it's guesswork that the other photographer finished the rest of these. And so, I mean, this is right after the first the explosions. This is when this fire engine, if it collapsed, why was it blowing giant fire engines sideways and catching them on fire? And this is about 150, 200 feet away from the explosion, away from the collapse. But it blew fire engines sideways. Of course, everybody's probably seen pictures like this. So the guy's probably looking up for the first time, noticing there's no tower anymore. It's completely gone. And then rescuing a fireman here, he probably doesn't look like he made it. This might be the famous one. He was the only survivor of 11 people that he was with, 11 firemen, and he's the only survivor. I think that's him. And I had his name. It was Shen maybe, or something like that. There's too much stuff in my brain. I wasn't prepared to talk about this at all. It's just stuff in my brain. So there's the piece I was talking about. When the Marriott Hotel, the North Tower is still up, which is right there. The Marriott Hotel is cut in half, and this is the piece that got blown through it by the micro nukes, thermite, whatever it was. This is the middle of West Street. So how did it just get blown straight through the Marriott and end up in the middle of the street? So there you go, there's that part, and this is a really nice photo to show the other tower still up. This is West Street, and this part, the 3-story section of the first tower that was blown up. And this is the Marriott Hotel that's partially still there.